There aren't any stressful jobs. Although you might think there are stressful jobs, there aren't any. It's only you working in that job. There are no life events that are innately stressful. I know this contradicts what I said before, but the truth is, it's the way you think about things that matters. There are only 5 non-physical causes of stress. I missed one. No disease, illness, or syndrome is caused by stress. Although you hear about it, and I can tell you the ones that are pretty close, but none. Nobody can cause you to have stress. People can't upset you unless you allow them to. And quality coping is putting energy into areas in your control. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you have for me? Which one of these do you disagree with? Those are concepts that I believe strongly in every one. I'm willing to fight you, but it'll be friendly. You could win. Which one of these do you disagree with?
Zero, no stressful jobs.
Okay, can you tell me one?
The job I currently work is stressful.
For who?
For me and anybody else who works with
That's not true. Now stop it. What kind of job is this?
I work with kids with emotional and behavioral issues.
Yeah, and oh, that's impossible, because how could you work with kids who, everyone would be stressed. Are you telling me that there aren't people that leave work at the end of the day and say, gee, I'm going to go home, play with my kids, do this or do that? Do you take work home with you in your head?
Mm-hmm.
Does everyone that you know?
Yeah, they work home.
Well, that's because they tell you that?
Mm-hmm.
None of them go home and have a good time?
That don't mean
You probably call them right away and say, didn't this day suck?
Sure.
Yeah, and you continue on after work, you just, continue. I don't know that job, but I'll tell you in general, it's like teaching. There are some teachers that die on the job. It's so difficult, it's so stressful. And there are some that it's the greatest thing in their life. They know that they're making a difference, and whether it's hard or not doesn't mean it's stressful. Degree of difficulty does not make it stressful. Thank you for starting us off. How about the rest of you? What do you got?
Stress does not cause any disease, illness, or syndrome.
Yeah, so what does it cause?
For my personal life, I was actually very good. I'm an athlete. I've done a lot of things.
Right.
And when I turned about 24, I had a life-changing event. And I became pregnant. And it was a very stressful situation in my life. And it seemed like with the pregnancy and the stress and the different situation, it basically, I got kidney stones. And now I have kidney disease. And I get kidney stones every 2 years or so. And I can tell.
And you think it's due to your stress?
I actually, with different things that like hitting me at 24, and then about 2 years later, and it seemed like every different life-changing event with that increased my stress level,
Okay.
jobs, kids.
Stop for a second. You happen to just sit down and figure out, it seems that when you get these kidney stones, you have life events, right?
Or stressful events, yeah.
So when do you not have stressful
I'm
events?
saying high stressful events.
Okay, and that's just your perception of things. So let me ask you something. Do certain foods trigger kidney stones?
Not my type of kidney stone.
Hold on.
My body actually creates my kidney stones. I'm the 5% now.
Okay.
That's not the diet.
And what did the doctor tell you? This is what I want to hear. The doctor told you.
My kidney doctor actually. It went from kidney stones to
Nephrologist?
kidney disease. Yes.
Yeah. So what did he say, or she?
They actually suggested that I take medication because all of the dietary changes that I made
Okay.
didn't change it. Didn't cause me to stop getting kidney stones.
But did they say to you, it's stress that's doing this?
They told me that I have kidney stones, like the actual stone gets called.
Hold on. Did they say to you?
They did not tell me it's stress.
You're just making this association.
I'm making the association by.
Okay,
what's coming
maybe
out.
it's true. Let's leave it alone. I just wanted you to react and interact. How about the rest of you? Thank you. Can't argue, I'm not going to argue. Yes, Fred.
As a first responder, EMT, firefighter,
Yeah.
police officer,
Yeah.
going into a situation where you don't know what's coming next, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
You sure? That's where you stop. And you stop and don't say anything else after that. You sure of that?
That would cause me stress.
Yes, but are you a fireman?
I'm not.
Okay. See, Fred, if you went into surgery, like neurosurgery, do you think you'd be stressed? You have to like open up someone's head, perform a little microsurgery on their brain. Do you think that would be stressful for you?
unless you are positive what you know.
I'm asking you a question.
If I didn't know,
I'm asking you right now, Fred.
Yes,
Why?
because I wouldn't know how to perform the surgery.
Would you know how to put out a fire?
If there was a fire in here, I'd use a fire extinguisher.
Great. Do you think firemen have a little different experience with fires?
Yes.
Do they also have years of experiences with family members who are often firemen? They live to be firemen. It's part of their heritage. All I'm saying to you is, I don't understand firemen. How could they be running into a building when everyone's running out of the building? Okay? Me, I'm sorry, folks. I would like to believe I could be a fireman, but I don't believe it. I'd be lying to you. I think it takes certain people, special training, and it has to be a long history. You don't just wake up one day. Every kid, you know, when you ask kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm telling you, they all say fireman until they find out that you got to go into fires. You know, the hat and the whole thing. Ask them. They want to be astronauts, which is not so cool anymore. All I'm saying is you're not trained to be a fireman. Now, a study was done on neurosurgeons. They found that they hooked them up to different equipment, and they found that these neurosurgeons, during surgery, are totally calm and at peace, together, balanced, 100% self-actualized, according to Maslow. You take them out of surgery, when they had to get back into traffic, go home with the same family problems that everyone else, they're stressed out. You take athletes in the flow, during the activity, they're totally at peace. Before the event, after, when they're back in the real world, they're not. Most people get into the flow of their job, of their life. So do you, even though you don't want to believe it. That's how you survive it. Because almost anyone who took your job would last about 5 minutes. Because you know how to do things, you know how to pace things, you have strategies. And thank you for bringing that up. It's just we're not trained to do this. So anyway, years ago, the air traffic controllers went on strike. And someone said, you know, I was one of those heads. You ever see Nightline, the show, Ted Koppel, and they have the 5 heads in the screen. So anyway, I was once a head on the screen, and we talked about air traffic controllers, and I'm the only one who said air traffic controllers aren't under any more stress than anyone else. And the other 4 talking heads were going to kill me. Because, you know, how could every near miss, you're going to die. I knew that the average age of retirement is 38. I knew that 1 out of every 3 ends up with physical problems that they didn't have before. But I also know that that happens with other jobs and other people. They're not under any more stress than anyone else. Also, I knew I'd get more airtime, and I had the last word, which was I had the only contract to study air traffic control and stress in the country. Small one, but we did it. So everyone else was just talking out of their ass. And I at least had some data to support what I was talking about. But everyone thinks, how tough would it be for you to be an air traffic commander? Oh, no. That's why some of them are, the movie Airplane. Remember the movie Airplane? When Lloyd Bridges, he says, this is a bad day to give up drinking. This is a bad day to give up cocaine. Because air traffic controllers, you know, every near miss. But some of them just come in, they do their job, they go home, and that's it. Not everyone lives and dies with everything that is going on. We see it that way. And that's what you and I do, Fred, a lot. We put ourselves in certain jobs, it would be tough. For instance, what's the #1 fear of Americans? Standing in front of groups and speaking. So if I said to some of you, come on up here, let's put you on tape and start talking, people would crumble into the ground. Strokes would occur. But again, if you've done it, I don't care. Hey, hello. Right? If you've done it, if you've made mistakes, if one day I was on a live TV show, my zipper was open, my shirt tail was hanging out of my pants. It looked real funny. Live TV, can't do anything about it. But anyway, anyone would have a problem with standing in front of groups and giving a talk? Anybody here? You would? Why is that? Well, you would, though.
Just whenever it's something like I need to organize ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, thanks, Fred. What about the rest of you? 2 or 3 others? Yes, Kim.
People can't accept you unless you let them.
Yeah, people can't upset you unless you allow them to. Well, how could it be not true?
I feel like people can't get a rise out of you unless
Listen, Helen Keller, Stevie Wonder. If you don't listen and you don't hear, they don't stress you. It's as simple as that. You got a boss you don't like, don't listen. As they're talking, just don't listen. You don't have to listen to people. Wait until you get married. Are you married? If you listen to everything your spouse says, I have the greatest wife in the world. But you can't listen to everything. You go crazy. And that's what I'm saying. You don't have to listen to people. Do you have to? Is there anyone you have to listen to? Do you remember not listening to your parents? Yeah, you remember that. What happened to the day when your parents said, be home at 10 o'clock? And you said, I'm having a good time. I think I'll take the punishment. Do you remember that? Of course you did. That's what growing up is. I think I'm going to... It's like dogs. When you let them off the leash, you run away. They come back, and their head between their tail between their legs. They know they did something wrong. They're not even sure why. But they're willing to take the punishment. They do it all the time. I know they did something wrong. Then you hit them with a newspaper. That's what you need to do with the kids. But you don't have to listen to people. I have a boss who... can we stop this?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry. But I don't listen to this person. I try to get the message, but I'm not going to allow that person to really destroy my day. I admit, I allow my family members in. They have the right to piss me off. They have a right. I allow them. I will listen. I will get upset. But Aaron, you took a class with me. When I leave class, I run to my office. People see me in between classes. I see hundreds of kids all the time. I never talk to anyone. I look down. I usually make believe I'm reading something. You know, nobody ever bothers me. I get into my office, I'm good. Because then I have to listen to people. And that's when problems occur. All I'm saying to you is, that's a choice that you make. When someone calls you up on the phone, you have a choice whether you want to answer it or not. If you get a telemarketer, you choose to answer them. I don't know why you answer it. Now, I could answer the phone and say, I'm sorry, I'm really not interested. If I really am upset with them because they're a pain in the butt, all I do is when I answer the phone is I say I have no money. As soon as you tell them you're poor, you need your own charity, they'll leave you alone. They're trying to sell you something. You need money for something. No, there's no money. At the end of this whole thing, there's always money. What are you talking? My wife has a good one. When she's a little bit upset with they continue to call, even though we're on the don't call, whatever list. Is Jay Siegel there? And she'll answer it. He's dead. They don't know what to say with that. What do you mean I'm dead? I hear, what are you talking about? Well, he's dead. They don't know what to do with that if you want to get off real fast. But, you know, it's kind of, they try to trick you. And anytime I hear this, I fight back. When I hear them say, is the man or the woman of the house, they figure they got both sides of the equation. No, I'm sorry, we only have hermaphrodites living in this house. That's it. I mean, what do you mean is the man or the woman there? Well, what is that? Maybe you want to talk to my snake or my dog. What are you talking about? You know, whenever they do that, you better get the name right off the bat. So anyway, look, I'm just telling you, we're going to move into something now. I guarantee you it's how you think about things that matter. I'll give all of you this idea, certain jobs are stressful. You know, there's physiological stresses. Mine workers, people that work on bridges, there's physiological things that will cause stress. But generally, if you're trained for what you're doing, if you have enough incentive in your job, if you have enough responsibility, if you have enough authority to carry out your responsibility at work, generally those are jobs that people do well in. But if you're in a job that has no incentive, you weren't trained for, that's the way America is. We keep pushing people forward until you end up with a job you're not trained for. That's the Peter Principle, another label. I can almost guarantee you it's what you think about something that causes your stress. It's not a life event. It's not a life event at all. Bosses can't get you upset. Parents can't get you upset. Professors can't get you upset. Let me ask you something. If I said to you, you better be on time tomorrow, does that matter? Or can you do what you want? It matters? I've been teaching longer than you've been alive. And students do whatever they want. I could threaten. I could take points off. I could do anything. Your firstborn child, I'm going to come and take them. It doesn't matter what the professors do. Students do what they want. We had two gentlemen sitting in the class a few minutes ago. Did you hear me say to them, will you be back? Did they come back? Okay? Don't people do what they want? I hope you understand something. There is nothing in this world you have to do. I might fall behind schedule, but I don't care. Tell me something you have to do, other than eating, sleeping, breathing, things to sustain your life. Tell me something you have to do. Come on. Don't sit on your asses anymore. Tell me something there's no choice. Come on. I'm sure Fred has one. Come on. Come on, tell me something you have to do.
You have to work.
No, you don't. You know how many people don't work? You know how many people ask for money outside? You know how many people beg? You know how many people don't even beg? They don't even care. No, you don't. You choose to work because you like to pay bills, you like to buy things, you like to be responsible. Some things around there, right? But don't tell me you have to.
I look at it, I have to work because I have to make money, because I have to buy
No, you
food,
don't.
because I need to eat.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You could go to a soup kitchen. You go for a little walk with me. I'll find you food. You won't have to pay for it. Don't tell me you have to work. Every single day you go to work, Aaron, you need to start saying to yourself, I choose to go to work. I choose to have benefits. Because when you tell people you don't have to work, well, oh, you like getting paid. I get it. You like benefits. You like paying for your own food. You like being independent, not having, oh, well, then you choose to work. Do you know how many people don't work in this country? They say it's only 5.1%. It's about 25%. Those are only people that apply for unemployment insurance. So 1 out of 4 people say, you know what, Aaron? Bullshit. I'm not working. Some people can't work. Some people don't want to work. But there's certainly choice in working. There are people that bring up children. After they're done, they don't want to work. I did my work. It's a lot of choice. You might not see it that way, but your life will open up totally when you say, I choose to work. Or not. Is there anyone who's not going to work? Is anyone not working now? Anyone? It doesn't matter why. But did you choose this?
Yeah.
So, I don't want to hear people, oh, I have no choice, I have no choice. Let me tell you how much choice you have. You don't even have to feed children that you have. You know how I know this? The first day that I came to Philadelphia, on the cover of this Daily News was about a story about a woman who put her kid in a 5-gallon paint container and left on the steps of the police station. Obviously, some people choose to do different things as parents. Don't ever tell me that you have to feed a kid. Well, it's a nice thing to do. It's a responsible thing. But how come other people don't? How can you leave kids alone and go out and then there's fires? We see it all the time. There's a lot of choice, Aaron. And doing the right thing is a choice. And I hope you continue to be a good citizen and carry your own weight. But there's a lot of choice. There's nothing you have to do. Because in wartime, your father was in the military, you told me?
Yes.
In wartime, I could say to you, if you're captured, give me the information or I'll blow your brains out. And some people say, fire away. Right? Right? So don't tell me that you don't choose. You choose everything. You choose to answer the phone. You choose to go fast in a car. I don't know why you try to talk yourself out to police officers when you're doing 90. You know, I was coming home from college once, slowing down. I got caught outside of Binghamton, New York, and I tried to use the old, well, I was just trying to keep up with traffic, your officer. He said, yes, air traffic. I'll never forget that. I tried to give him the old standard. He got me slowing down at 87. Then, years ago, on the New York Thruway. I think it was about 70 miles an hour speed limit. I was flying. But that's a choice you make. You don't have to go that fast or that slow. There's nothing you have to do. From when you leave here today, you could choose to get a chicken sandwich at the truck or a salad. No one tells you you have to. All right, you have to eat the McDonald's fries. I understand that. That's an addiction. But other than that, you choose. And by the way, I don't disagree with all of you. That's the way we feel, Aaron, that there's no choice. You just have to open your eyes. There's a few things you have to keep in mind. There is choice and history. Whatever happened, it's over. So people carry on this horror, this awful, all the time. Let's talk about some, for 25 minutes, I want to go over a couple of things. Okay? I'm saying to you there are only 5 non-physical causes of stress. And here they are. I'm saying that there's only 5. I wish it was 6. There's only 5. I wish you would come up with a 6. I'll give you an A. I'll give you $1,000. I just know there's 5. God, please come up with a 6. I'll give you from now until the end of the summer, even after the class ends. You come up with a 6, I'll put in a change of grade if you didn't get an A. Demandedness is one cause of stress and problems. These are people that insist and expect and set up the world in very clear-cut categories. It's very, they're related to rules that they have about living. They use words like should and must. You should have known. You must be this way. You must act this way. You must sleep this way. People in a bed, they tell you rules about sleeping. Stay on your side of the bed. I don't want that foot on this side. And that's my pillow. They got all these rules. Rules about everything. You must act this way. You must be this way. Must, 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 must. We call these people masturbators. That's what comes out of their mouth all day long. Should and must. You should have known. I love that. You should have known. It's hard enough to live your own life. You should have known about everybody else's head. Well, you know, birthdays. Okay, after that, what should you have to do? There aren't any shoulds and musts. These are expectations that you put out. And when you put out an expectation with a should or a must, you're going to be disappointed. 2 things I guarantee that when you use words like should and must, 2 things I guarantee. 1, you give up total control of every situation. When you put a should or must out there, you give up total control. If I said to you, you must be on time tomorrow, what happens when you're late? Who's definitely going to be upset? Me. Because it's my expectation. You didn't hear me say that. You heard me say late is good. Right? I didn't put that expectation out there. And the second thing is people don't like to be treated that way. You ever hear, I like the one with the parents. Jay, take out the garbage. Oh, shit. You're carrying out the garbage and mumbling under your breath, and your parents and whoever you live with, they hear you. And you don't care. Oh, I don't want to do it, whatever. Kids don't have to clean up their room just because you threaten their life. They don't have to clean up their room. You remember the Cosby episode with Theo? You know, he walked in there, he couldn't even find anything. Did you keep a clean room your whole life? How could that be? Weren't you threatened? Threatened. What is this? They do. Parents threaten you. They send you to your room with your computers and your iPods and all that stuff. Lauren is a great girl, my daughter. One time I said, you're not leaving your room. So the only thing I did was I remember putting my big butt on the outside of the door so she couldn't move me. And she was cursing me out. She was small and yelling at me, cursing at me, move, kicking the door, so I wouldn't let her out. That was the only way to keep her in, you know. But you don't have to clean up your room. That's something you eventually choose to do. And then you have your own apartment the first time. It's like amazing. Because you don't have to make the bed. What is this? I could leave, not make the bed, and come home. Until you have a roommate or a spouse and stuff like that. You got to start making the bed again. But that's something you choose to do. Demandedness is the #1 cause of stress and problems in Americans. We have rules about everything. We have Judge Wapner's and Judge Judy's, and they all walk around. They know all the rules about living. Let's just hear some of your rules. Come on, I want to hear from 4 of you. People should, come on. Holly, people should
Pay their bills.
pay their bills. Does everyone pay their bills? Some people wait until the last minute. I think I'll wait for the pink slip to come before I pay a bill. Others pay it right away. My wife pays it before it comes. I don't know how she does it. She does. That's the balance me. I never got that. Pay your bills. Actually, I don't want to pay any bills. I hate paying for electricity. Can't you give this to me for free? But you got to pay your bills because they do shut that stuff off. What else? People should. You know, here's a good one. Should people hold the elevator for you? I like the little ones. You know, you got the big ones. People should people hold the elevator? Well, if you have 3 stories, like where I have in Vivacqua Hall, I don't hold the elevator, but I give a good act. I go like, but I never really try to stop the button, because you never get on the, you know, I need to go to work. I don't hold it. But sometimes, you know, I like to hold doors for people. I'm a door holder. But sometimes 5 people come out, 7, and they keep coming. When do you have a chance to leave? Or you become a doorman. So what I do is, you fake that too. You kind of let the door go, and you kind of stick your foot out in the air like you're trying to hold it for them. You're really not. It's the same thing you do at Wawa. 1 person in, 1 person out. I don't hold the door for everyone. You go to Wawa? It's a great store. It's my Wawa. I have a coffee cup. It's a giant coffee cup. Every time I buy coffee in 64 ounces, everyone, they can't help it, but they say to me, that's some big coffee cup. They always say the same thing. I know. Isn't that amazing? You know how people put the 4 cups of coffee in that cardboard? You know what I'm talking about? And it's always falling in the car and all that. This is just one. Cap on top. You take it. Try it. Let me hear it. Should or must. Come on.
People should use common sense.
Well, yeah. Common sense according to who? According to you. Because you have cornered the market on common sense. I understand that. When people don't have common sense, it's very upsetting. But you are the judge, and you have to stop being the judge. We're going to get you a robe for the rest of it. What about 1 or 2 others? People should wash up. I love that one. People should not smell. Right? Now you have sat next to people in class. Holy mackerel, what the hell is that? It's like a mutation from hell. They stink. But do you know that some people don't bathe? Do you know that? Not Americans who are preoccupied with soap and bathing. But other countries, once a week, it's good. But some people smell. You choose to bathe. It's a nice idea. But people smell, right? Hello. What about 1 more? People should. Come on, don't look down. I'm not going to call on you. People should what? That's it? That's all you have? Each one of you has between 10 and 20,000 rules that you live by. You can't come up with one. Tell me about driving. People should what? Go at my speed. People should be on time. Anyone have an on-time thing? People, you have that? And when they're not on time, who suffers, Holly? Oh, of course. And Holly's so nice that she says, is everything okay? Before she gets pissed. Oh, because I was a little worried. Because not everyone thinks it's important, Holly. It's a rule that you have. That's a cause of problems. A second cause is judgmentalness. I need a volunteer. Hello. Volunteer. Okay. And it's Tiana?
Tiana, yeah.
Okay. I work for Tiana. Remember that job? That is very difficult. I'm her secretary. And what's your favorite color, Tiana?
Purple.
She has color purple. We give her a star. Tiana's very nice. I love working for her. She's such a sweet person. Loves the color purple. And do you like Chinese food?
No.
Oh, what's your favorite food?
I like pasta.
Pastas. She likes pastas. So we give you a star. Because you're such a nice person. You like the color purple, and you like pasta. Are you a considerate person?
Yes.
And I give her a star. She's a considerate person. But the other day, Tiana said, Jay, I need this done, 5 hours worth of work. I want it out in an hour. Okay? So I gave her a different color star. It's a little brighter. You can see that. That's the I hate you, Tiana star. You're an ass, Tiana. And this is what we do every single day. We judge someone. We forget that she likes the color purple. She likes pasta. We forget all the wonderful stars. All of a sudden, I hate you. I find a star I don't like about you, and it becomes the whole person. I hate you. And when you have an I hate you, 2 things for sure. Your body physiology reacts to it, and Tiana and I are having a fight. There's always a fight. You hate me. When you hate the whole person, there's a fight. People fight back. But if Tiana said to me, do this, and I said, I hate when you give me so much work in 1 hour to do it. She has so many options. She has so many options. She could say, okay, do it anyway. 2, I didn't know. 3, you're fired. 4, just do it. 5, maybe I'll take some of it and do it. There's so many options, but as soon as I say, I hate you, Tiana, what do we got? All of you. We have a fight because I take everything I don't like and it becomes 1 star. You need to start saying to people, I hate that star in you, whatever it is. I hate when you keep me waiting in a restaurant. I hate when you drive so slow. What are you, 100? You know, some people you have in a car with someone, they stop at every light and they stop. They can't go through and it's yellow and everyone's bouncing around. And, you know, I mean, if you got any color, you go. Just go. New York. New York has different rules. They don't have long orange in New York. They have very short orange lights. It's better to make it quick. Like even jaywalking in New York, you could get killed easily if you step off there. In Philadelphia, you could walk anywhere. You could I walk in a straight line. I go from my office, wherever, any other place on campus, I just go a straight line across Broad Street. See, people in Philadelphia can see you. They see you coming. Never run. Never run. If you walk real slow, they see you. They won't hit you. They think about hitting you. Maybe I'll hit this girl. I'm having a bad day anyway. But they don't hit you. That's why drunks walking across the street never get hit. A few steps back, a few steps forward. But that's why you got to teach kids never run, because you could trip and fall. That's what is bad. Just go slow. But in New York, there's real traffic. Real traffic is when cars don't move. In Philadelphia, cars move. This is not traffic. Minor league. Minor league. Not a minor league city. Minor league traffic. But judgmentalness, another cause of problems. Third, fears. Roosevelt said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And he went on to define fear as nameless, unjustified terror, which paralyzes us into retreat instead of advance. Fears get in our way. You're afraid of planes, you don't see beautiful beaches. You're afraid of heights, you don't go up that tower to the greatest restaurant in the world. You're afraid of rejection, you don't go out on dates. You're afraid of failure, you don't take jobs that challenge you. They get in our way. And fears are a cause of stress and problems. But all fears can be addressed, unlike demandingness that you learn through the years and judgmentalness with this technique, you can work through it. Fears you could really handle. You could desensitize yourself. You could do things so you could live through them. You don't need to overcome every fear, but just enough. Just enough. We'll talk about fears this afternoon. The fourth cause of problems is pessimism and awfulizing, making the worst out of situations. Living by Murphy's Law. People who live, this class will suck. These days are going to feel like years before you came here. They make the worst out of things. I know I'm going to fail that test. This is the way they live. This plane will probably crash. You have a bump. You ever on a bumpy plane? Ooh, hold my hand. I don't care who it is. When you're on a shaky flight, I look for religious-looking people. A rabbi, a priest, a sister, someone with a uniform. I figure my odds are better that it won't go down. I'll convert right on the plane. What do you got? You got some beads? I'll do it. All right? But when it's over, when it hits the ground, I don't drink. But when it hits the ground, you know how when people applaud? Well, that's what they're supposed to do, hit the ground. You know, they were always applauding when the guy hits the, you shouldn't applaud. You're paying a lot of money for him to hit the ground. I don't understand that. But when I get off the plane, and that's it, I'm happy. Some people get off the plane, wasn't it the worst flight you've ever seen? That was the worst flight. You get to the luggage rack. Do you believe that flight? 2 days, 3 days later. Hey, didn't I know you? Were you on that plane? That was the worst plane ever. They don't let go. You have crap that happens. Let go of it. It's over. It's history. No. Awful lives hold on to it until the next awful thing happens. And if you speak to a pessimist, here's what their rationale. If I think the worst and it doesn't happen, then I am good. I have a moment of goodness. It's like waiting for the doctor's report. Okay? So you have 3 weeks of continuous alarm reactions and agony. Then you get the doctor's report. You don't have cancer. You're going to live. Yay, for a minute. You had 3 weeks of misery. Believe me, people say, well, that's the way I am. I just want you to know, misery will catch up to you. You don't have to worry whether it's disease, death of people. No one's immune to misery. But you don't have to anticipate it. You don't have to live every moment as if it is. Wait. Be patient. When I talk about migraine headaches, I tell people, you know, it affects superachievers, affects one side of your head, and I go through all these things. And someone says, you know, I have all these things, but I don't have migraine headaches yet. Be patient. A couple of years, you'll be fine. You'll have these horrible headaches where you want to kill everyone. You know, they're so, you know, if you don't have headaches, this is good. Leave it alone. You don't have kidney stones? Not fun. Right? Not fun. But, you know, be patient. Because shit kind of equals out to everyone. Everyone has it. And most of you will say, oh, you don't know my shit. Only, you know, you don't know my story. In that book I told you about, I remember people talking about breakups. And everybody who had a breakup would always say, no, you don't know mine. Mine was different. Everyone had the same story, the exact same story, how tough that breakup was. Well, nobody likes rejection. It's hard. But they're all the same story, and everyone thinks they're unique. Anyway, when something awful happens, it's history. Whatever it was, it's over. My mom died years ago. You don't get over it. You know, people, you know, every birthday, every April, every this, think about it all the time. But you learn how to live through it. You don't get over things. But what are you going to do is the question. Are you going to live every moment with misery, or are you going to move off of that? Now, I'm not telling you it's easy, but there is an option, you know. Not the lying option either. She would really want me to be doing, I'm talking about an option for you, your voice. See, we don't do things for other people. We think we do that. You think you're motivated to make your parents happy. What motivates all of us is us. And if you only watched Oprah occasionally, you'd know that. Oprah's done some good things. And one of the things is it's all about you. You know, it's what are you doing to improve your life? And the last cause of problems is vulnerability. These are the blamers of the world. My happiness and sadness is based on what people do and say to me. If you are nice, I will be happy. If you are not nice, I will be miserable. Your entire life is based on external things. So you blame people. Oh, damn rain's destroying my life. You know, damn Fred is destroying my life. And damn Carson Valley is destroying my life. It's all about you. Your happiness and sadness is based on you and your thoughts and your feelings and your beliefs, not your boss, not me, not Olivia, not your kids when you have kids. That's another thing. You think that way. Oh, they could set you up pretty much for misery. But even your happiness there is based on whether you're going to live your life for your life or through someone else's life. Can't live someone else's life. It's hard for parents to do that. Difficult. These are the 5 causes of problems. Here's a summary of them. And somewhere at the end of the semester, or tomorrow, or today, or months from now, you come up with a 6th cause of problems, I'll be so happy. I'm saying to you, every day that Fred has 5,000 to 7,000 and Holly 5,000 to 7,000 times, they're stressed. They're not stressed for any reason other than, now we're putting a giant issue away, which is physiological stressors. Heat, humidity, guns, there's things that are physical. Pain. Other than that, there's only 5 causes. Demandedness, pessimism, vulnerability, fearfulness, and judgmental.